What's up, guys? It's a beautiful Monday afternoon. I hope your week is going well so far. I woke up this morning thinking about a question I've been getting a lot lately, and that is, how do I afford this car at my age and what I do for a living? Now, let me preface it with one thing. It doesn't take $1 million to be able to drive your dream car every day or to afford a lifestyle that you want to afford. I got this car about a year ago when I was 24 in December of 2016. The reason why a lease was a good option in my case was that BMW had a really good lease program going on BMW i8s when I got the car. Now, what does that mean for me as a benefit in comparison to buying the car or financing the car? When you lease a car, you know exactly what your payments are going to be every month. And on top of that, BMW also has included maintenance with the cars. So whatever my lease payment is all the money I'll be spending while I own the car, other than tires. So in my case, a lease worked in my favor because essentially what we're doing when we're leasing a car is paying down the depreciation. Whereas when you finance a car like this, the car will depreciate $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 over the course of 3 or 4 years owning it, and you'll be upside down, assuming you didn't put much money down on your financing, and you'll have to come out of pocket a large amount of money if you want to sell the car or get rid of it. Some of you may have gathered that I live in the middle of the city. I'm actually in Miami, and living expenses here are not cheap. So the long-winded portion of the answer to your question is what I do for a living. My primary day-to-day is consistent of a medical business that I own, and the way I got into that is through an opportunity that I had working for a company that was started by family, and when the time came, I was able to buy the company, and I set myself up for that purchase without even knowing it over the course of about 4 or 5 years prior to having the opportunity arise. The way I did that was being financially responsible and building my credit worthiness, and having the wherewithal to be able to go through with the purchase. So when the opportunity came up, I had a very short period of time to be able to pull the trigger and ink the deal. I didn't do it by having $1 million in my bank account to be able to purchase a business. I had to take out a loan. However, a common misconception with loans is that a loan is consistent with having debt. And that is the case to a certain extent, but at the same time, when you pull out a loan, you're leveraging those assets to be able to make yourself more money. So in simple terms, that means by me purchasing a business, I was able to take a larger salary and create a personal financial statement that reflected much more than just that loan that I took out. So the company that I purchased, I paid X amount of dollars for, and it's worth more than the money that I paid. I also don't like to have all of my eggs in one basket, so I like to diversify the way that I make money and my income. So I'm involved in other companies, some within healthcare, some not, and those also generate streams of revenue over and above what I make from my day-to-day. Now, a very important piece of the entire puzzle is managing the money that you make. So if you're making $10,000 a month, that doesn't necessarily mean you should spend $10,000 a month. The only way to build your credit worthiness is by building your financial assets, your liquid assets, and by building your credit history. So in this case of me buying the company, the reason I was able to buy it is because I had a little bit of liquid assets, but a large portion of the approval was because I had credit worthiness. But once you start making money, it's how you manage your money that will determine whether or not you'll become successful to the extra degree. And what do I mean by that? Well, if you're making $10,000 a month and you spend $10,000 a month, you'll have no money left over at the end of the month. To lenders, that'll show that you're an irresponsible spender. So you want to have some assets, whether it's in investments or liquid in a savings account, a checking account, an investment account, whatever it may be. What I found the most helpful for me was to put about 20% of my earnings in a savings account, and that savings account could be used for investments. So if you're making $10,000, keep $2,000 in a savings account that you can't touch, and spend the $8,000 on necessary expenses and ancillary expenses. That's the best way that I found to be able to save money while maintaining the lifestyle that you want to live. And when you save enough money, you can begin investing in different ways. You can invest in real estate, you can invest in yourself in another business. Whatever it is that you choose to invest in, you can use that money to help grow your financial worth over time. These are things that other people may have advised you. It may sound redundant, but they work and they're true. Whatever it is that you do, you don't have to drive an exotic car. You don't have to live in a fancy place, but live within your means. So don't overspend. Spend less than you make. Save 20% of what you earn, and you'll always be in a good financial situation. So I want to leave you guys with the question, and that is, if you had $2,000 a month to spend on whatever it was that you want, whether it was a boat or a car, what would it be and why? I look forward to seeing your answers in the comments below, and until the next video, I'll see you guys next time.